Messi, who is number 37 on the Sports Card Investment Report, and he's listed as a GOAT, obviously, in our categorization of our GOATs, heroes, and flyers at no offseason. He just scored 5 goals in a game for the second time in his career. Now, this was against Estonia, and it was in friendly competition. But Kendall, does this have any performances like this have any bearing on soccer card investors, maybe even people who, we're kind of talking about people who are fringe soccer card investors. They're sports card investors and they might dabble in soccer. And or people who are like diehard soccer card investors. Does this have any kind of significance the way that it would, say, if Deshaun Watson comes in and throws, 5 or 6 touchdown passes in his first game as a Cleveland Brown? Because I think, Andy can probably comment on what would happen if that does occur. But what happens if, when this kinds of things happen with Messi?
Oddly enough, I really don't think this affects Messi's value because we know he's that guy. I don't know if Messi's value can go up exponentially by scoring 5 goals because everyone kind of expects that's already baked into his price. Let's just put it that way. And so when a guy like Messi scores 5 goals, especially against a friendly the way he did, it's not something that's going to, exponentially rise his value. And if anything, I think what it has done for Messi is it's kind of reminded everybody, oh, I'm still here. I'm still very, very good at what I do, and I think over the past couple of months with him being at PSG and having a lot of questions and needing to, people have been asking, is Messi kind of washed? We watched him go to PSG and he wasn't Barcelona Messi. And that's because I think Messi is more of a fundamental team member. The whole thing has to be built around Messi for Messi to be what he is because of the style of play. I'm not saying that Messi is not as good standalone, but I'm saying he's got to have a specific style to fit inside where he can kind of lay back. And I don't want to get into that right now, but if you put Ronaldo on any team, he's going to be Ronaldo no matter what, because he's just athletic and he's just going to go find the ball and, he's big, he's fast, he's strong. But Messi needs the teammates that are very important for him to be able to do what he does. And I like that. But anyway, I don't want to get into that much more than what I just did. But what I do want to say is it would remind people that, hey, Messi is still the GOAT. He's still Messi, and so if nothing else, it prevents people from selling his cards in a panic sale that they're oh, well, I've invested in Messi over the past 6 months right before he got into his PSG window. I have to sell now before I lose, all my bags. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Because right now we're seeing the dip in Messi's value, but I think he's not going anywhere. If you bought 6 months ago, don't sell right now. I would actually put it in a vault and just save it because that's one of those GOATs that's going to go up forever and ever. It's the Maradona effect. Argentina is going to, even when Messi retires, they're going to parade him around like he's, some superstar forever and ever and ever. I do think his brand exposure is not going to be as good as Maradona or as Ronaldo's just because of the person he is. He's not the guy who's going to show up and show out. But I think with him owning shares of Inter Miami, if that's in fact true, is going to be really unique because then that might mean that he moves to America and retires in Miami. I'm talking about after his football career is even over. Yes, he might end up coming to the MLS, which I think would do a lot for his brand value in terms of sports cards collecting because of the U.S. connection with sports cards. But I think he ends up retiring in Miami, and I think the Inter Miami link, and if he's involved in the front office anywhere there, could be really big, especially if he pulls that franchise out of the gutter and things like that. So just don't sell Messi, please. That's all I'm saying.
Is it kind of
I think sometimes a lot of
I was going to relate it. Is it kind of like to Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdowns,
Yeah.
in week 1, and people saying, "Oh, the hype is spiking. You got to sell, right?"
Yeah, don't do that. Do not sell on a 5-touchdown Tom Brady first. No, hold that thing so that when he's, like when that card's worth $1 bazillion, like you can just sell shares of it or something. I don't know. Yes, that is very similar.
Yeah, Andy, I was going to say, like, I also think of, I've noticed a lot of Messi sales doing my research for no offseason. And one of the companies that I think does an amazing job, obviously, is Slab Stocks with their daily slab email. So I follow that constantly. And, Messi, the sales on both PWCC Marketplace and on eBay have been more and more frequent this summer, and they're pretty significant. And so I think that
Those people are dumb.
Yeah, I think Kendall, you could, definitely comment on this, but my take is like sometimes we overcomplicate things as sports card investors and as prospectors, and we get really excited about the new shiny draft pick, the new shiny prospect. And the reality is like, and this is where I think our guy Paul Fisher, in the Facebook group and on the show kind of hammers home like the goats, the goats, the goats. And so you've got a goat like Messi who's still got markers ahead of him, to your point, Kendall. And so sometimes it's like, hey, not only don't sell, but, he's probably a buy to a certain extent as well still. So I do think it is like Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdown passes to a certain extent.
And goats having influence of other goats. I actually have Cristiano Ronaldo to thank for kind of influencing Tom Brady to come back.
That hat trick.
You saw that?
Man, that was hilarious. Are you talking about the photo where he's in the crowd?
Yeah. Oh, actually, Tom Brady took his son and they met with Cristiano Ronaldo after the game. And there's a little clip of Cristiano Ronaldo saying, "Hey, Tom, are you retiring? Or are you coming back?" And Tom's like, and that was after Ronaldo had the hat trick.
That's so funny. I didn't know that. So I saw the tweet of him sitting in the crowd when Ronaldo gets the hat trick, and he like looks real inquisitive. And the tweet was like, "Is this the moment where Tom Brady realized he's not done?"
I think that was it, man. I think it was that conversation he had after the game with him.
I think he saw Ronaldo and he's like, "God dang it, I gotta keep stepping up."
That's great.
That's so funny.
I heard LeBron James, his 50-point performance this season when he was playing small ball center for the Lakers also may have had an impact on Brady. So it feels like Brady's like following the goats from these other sports and going, all right, I'm not done yet. But
how fortunate are we really? How fortunate are we really that we get to watch Ronaldo, Messi, LeBron, Tom Brady? I mean, like, we literally have some of the best that have ever played sports ever in all the sports, and we're just getting to watch them. I mean, Mike Trout, for instance, throw Mike Trout in there. We're very fortunate.
Even Tiger Woods has made some of a comeback, even now from another crazy injury,
And I mean, I don't know if I'm ready yet, but like Connor McDavid is also on the ice, wow, we're fortunate
for sure.